Hello everyone, hope you're doing fine and welcome back to the channel. So I know how much you like the videos on logical explanation for FIMM integration and FISD integrations that I have posted earlier. So in the same series, I thought of making a new video which is going to explain the logical sequence between condition types, condition records, and access sequences, and also explain why do we require this and how we need to do the configuration. Same like the previous videos, we are not going to go into the configuration. We are going to get so many videos online of how to do the configuration for all of this. But in this video, we are going to purely discuss about the logic behind condition types, condition records, and access sequences, and why do we require this and how this helps us in making the configurations or the FIMM, FISD integrations easier. Not only in SD and MM, these condition types are also used in the taxation part within the FI module, and the logic is same everywhere. So let us jump into the video. So first let us try to understand what is the condition type and why do we require the condition types. So condition types, as I said, are used both in the SD module, in the billing documents or the sales orders. That means the pricing procedure in the SD module, and also the pricing schema in the MM module, and also your taxation procedures, which is used in the FI module. So for this video, we are going to take a sales module or the SD pricing procedure as an example. As I said, the logic is same in all the modules. So we'll try to understand first what is a condition type. So for this example, let us take a scenario where a company is manufacturing a product and it is selling to the customer. So let us say that company had manufactured a product at 1000 rupees and the company had decided to sell the product at 1500 rupees and is also offering a discount to the customer of 100 rupees, and the government is charging a tax of rupees 10. So as a part of the FISD or the SD module O2C cycle, when a billing document is created, the FI invoice is going to look something like this. So in the FI invoice, the customer is debited, the sales account is credited, and the discount is debited, and the tax is credited. So let us say this is debited by 1000 rupees, or let us first see the sales price, which is 1500, out of which we have offered a discount of 100, and the tax charge is 10 rupees. And what is the total that we are going to charge to the customer? It is 1410 rupees. So if I put it like this, 1410, and this is 1500, and this is going to be 100, and this is 10 rupees. So these are the different components in the FI invoice. Now, how do we arrive at these different components? How does the system understand that these are the different line items that are to be posted onto this document or onto different GL accounts? So that is where condition type comes into place. A condition type is an element of a pricing schema or a pricing procedure. So all the different components that are there in this sales process or the sales order, all those are created as condition types. So condition types can be anything. Condition types can be the price, it can be discount, it can be tax, it can be freight, it can be anything. Condition types help us to identify different components of the pricing schema, and also we can configure how the value is calculated for that condition type. So the logic or the formula behind calculating the value for this one is also defined in the condition type. For example, we know that discount should always be subtracted from the total price, tax should be added to the actual price, and freight, if depending upon the agreement, should be added to the actual price. So this addition or subtraction or how it is going to calculate and all that formula is defined at a condition type level. So the condition type tells us whether this is a discount or whether this is a tax or whether this is a price or anything that is to be added or to be subtracted. Condition types also tell us whether this is something that is to be posted in the FI document or not. That means whether this condition type or the value that is derived for this condition type is statistical or real. So we already discussed in some other videos of FISD integration, like what is a statistical condition. Just to explain in one line, a statistical condition type is used for internal calculations, but we do not want to actually post that onto the FI document. So it is just used for the calculations and the billing document in the conditions tab. but we might be capturing it in COPA for some other reporting purpose. But we do not want that value to alter the actual sales value or the customer value in the FI document. That means the final customer invoice. So all this nature of the different elements in the pricing procedure are defined as condition types. So let us see how a condition type looks like in the system. So I have a sales order that is created. Now let me directly go to the billing document of this one. And in this billing document, we will go to the line item level and go to the conditions tab. Here, if you see, there are different components in the calculation of price for this billing document. The first one is the price, which is 600 rupees per unit, and the total quantity is 10. So the total value is 6,000 rupees. And there is also another commission, and this commission is calculated as 30% of the total value, which is 1800 rupees, and the total amount is 7,800. Now, if you see here, there's a column called statistical, and this commission is marked as a statistical value for this one. So that means this is not actually going to be posted into the accounting document. Now let me open the accounting document. So if you see the accounting document, it is having a value of only 6,000 rupees. The additional commission value of 1800 is not calculated. I required that for some COPA reporting purpose, so that I did not want to add it into the FI document. So this is how the behavior of condition types work. So in order to see the condition types, we can go to the transaction code V/06. So here, if you see, these are all the different condition types that are defined in the system. So we can go to the condition type for the sales price that we have used, which is ER00. So if you see this, here the condition type defines what is the class of the condition, whether this is used for price calculation or whether this is for taxes or whether this is any discounts or any other additional fees. All that is mentioned in the condition type. We can also mention whether this is defined in the form of amount or percentage or quantity, what type of a value should be assigned to this one, and we can also define whether this is positive or negative. That means whether this is to be added to the actual value or whether this is to be subtracted from the total value. So all that can be defined. We can also define different scaling. That means we can fetch a different value depending upon different ranges of the values. We'll see that later on when we were actually defining how the value is fetched into the condition type. So these are all the different behaviors that are defined. And let us go to another condition type, which is ZCON, which is the commission value that is defined here. So in this commission, we have defined this as a discount class, and here it is positive. And if you see here, the calculation type is defined in the form of percentage, not in the form of a value. And we have also defined different scale values. That means if the original sales value is between 0 to 1000, then the commission percentage is 5%. And if it is above 1000 rupees to 2000 rupees, then the commission can be 10%. And if the sales price is more than 2000 rupees, then the commission can be 30%. So we can define anything like that. We can also define whether this is an accrual or not. So all that can be defined here. So now we understood what are different condition types and how we can define different components of our pricing schema as condition types and what are the different parameters that we can configure for a condition type. So the next part comes is, now that we have defined different components of our pricing schema, how we can tell the system to fetch the value for this each and every condition type. One simple obvious way is we can directly go to our billing document or in the sales order in the conditions tab. The moment while we are creating the sales order itself, we can assign a value to each and every condition type. That is obviously one option that is always available in the system. But we don't want that always because it might lead to a human error wherein someone can enter a wrong value. Or even if someone is entering a right value, it is always a repetitive task to create or assign values to each and every condition type every time when a sales order is created. So for that reason, we require some automated behavior of the system, which helps us to fetch the values of for each and every condition types. So that is called as a condition record. So a condition record is nothing but a value that is to be assigned to a condition type. So now let us once again have a look in the system. We came back to our sales order. And here if we see, there are different values assigned to each and every condition type. So a value assignment to a condition type can either be manual, or it can be derived for some other condition records, or it can be derived via some calculations without manual entry or without any condition record. So that is defined in our pricing schema. So we'll go back later on to the pricing schema, how the pricing procedures are defined and how the sequence is followed and all that. But now let us understand how the values have arrived here. So this value for PR00 has been directly taken from the material master data, so that we did not enter manually. We did not even maintain any condition record for this one. This condition PR00, which is given by SAP as a default price condition, is designed in such a way that it fetches the value directly from the material master data. This net price or the net amount is something that we did not have any value. Net amount is nothing but it is a sum of all these values. This formula is defined in the pricing procedure, which I am going to show later. Now coming to this third condition, ZCOM, which is for the commission. How did we arrive at this value of 30% as the commission? This is something that the system had fetched from a condition record. So let me double click on this one and let us see the value here. It is 30%. Now let us go back to our billing document. Let us go to the conditions at a line item level. So now let us select this condition type, ZCOM. For this condition type, let us see what is the condition record. So let us select this and click on condition record. So here if you see, for this condition type ZCOM, we have given an amount or the percentage as 30% as the commission. So where is this configured? So this is configured in the T code VK13. If it is a sales related condition type or a sales related condition record, that is given in VK13 or VK11, 12 and 13. If it is on the purchase side, it is given in the transaction code FV11, 12 and 13. So for the taxation also, it is configured either in FV11 or VK11 depending upon whether it is for output tax or input tax. So this is the condition type ZCOM. And here if you see, there are different combinations for which the value is to be entered. So it is executed. So if you see here, for this sales group TSG, the value is given as 30% for this commission or a ZCOM condition type. So depending upon the value that is mentioned in the condition record, the system is going to fetch the value for this condition type in the sales order or the billing document. So that is how a condition record works. And before we continue, if you are finding this video useful, do not forget to like it, share it and subscribe for more such content. And you can also join the channel by paying a little amount and contribute to my efforts. And in return, you will also get access to the member only videos and various discount vouchers for all my Udemy courses. So to recap, a condition record defines value to the condition type. Now that we understood what is a condition type and what is a condition record, what is the purpose of an access sequence? So we have seen that in VK13 we defined a condition record which is giving a value as 30% for the commission condition type. Now what if I want to have different commissions for different customers depending upon the customer group? So if we see back in VK13, so for every sales group is already defined here. So for every sales group, I can define a different tax percentage or different commission percentage. So depending upon what sales group does the customer belong or what combination the customer is created for, the system will pick up a different commission in the sales order. So I need not create multiple condition types for multiple values of a condition record. So I can use a single condition type ZCOM. And I can use various parameters like maybe it can be sales group or it can be distribution channel, division, sales organization, customer account group, material account group, whatever it is. And I can define different percentages for each of the combinations. And I can also define different values based on the date ranges. So depending upon the date on which the sales order is created, that means the document date of the sales order also, we can define different value for this condition type. So where can we define these different parameters which we want to differentiate the values for the condition records? So that is defined in something called as condition tables. So that is defined in the transaction code V/05. We can display the condition tables in the transaction code V/05. For example, in this case, my table number is 700. I'll also show you how we can see what is the table number for a particular condition record. So if you see in this table, I have selected what all the different fields based on which I want to differentiate or I want to give different values for the condition record. So in my case, it is sales organization, distribution channel, division, and the sales group. So let me also go to VK13 once again. So let us put these two side by side. So here if you see the parameters, sales organization, distribution channel, and division, which is the first three, are at the header level and sales group is at the line item level. So how can we tell whether this belongs to a header level or this belongs to a sales order level? So if we go to the technical view in our condition table, here we can tell what field is to be there at the header level and which one should be at an item level. So for the sales group, I have defined it at an item level. So what is the purpose of defining a field at a header level, or what is the purpose to define something at a line item level? So if you're defining at a header level, for this combination of sales org, distribution channel, and division, I can have multiple sales groups. So within the same combination, for multiple sales groups, I can define multiple values. Had this also been at a line item level, let us assume, we need to also define these three parameters for every line item, which is adding up to our task. So if these are common, we understand that in our business, my commission percentages change majorly at a sales group level rather than at this combination. So I'm going to keep this at a header level, and what is to be changed very frequently, that I'm going to add at a line item level, which is sales group in my case. And I can add different amounts for each and every sales group combination. So this is how I define different parameters or different fields based on which I can define different values in my condition record. So this is called as a condition table. So what is access sequence then? So let us go to the transaction code V/07. So this V/07 is something where we can define what is the condition access sequence. So let us go to our condition access sequence ZCOM, which is the one which I have defined to fetch condition records for the condition type ZCOM. So if I select this and go to accesses, I can see different tables assigned here. Although in this case, I have only one table. Majority of the scenarios, we will assign multiple tables which contains multiple combinations of fields which help us to define various values or various condition records for a condition type. So if you see here, one is the sequence number and the other one is the table number, and the next defines the description, which is nothing but the different fields that are present in this table, which is 700, which we just now had seen. So out of these, we can also define something as exclusive. So what does this access sequence do? So let us take a case. We saw that in our case, the table 700 is having 4 fields based on which I can define a value for the commission condition type. Now, I also want to define another combination which is having sales organization, distribution channel, division, and let us also say I want customer account group, material account group, and sales group. So that means I want 2 additional fields in addition to this 4 fields which are already present in this table 700. So for that, we need to create another condition table in the transaction code V/04 or V/03. And once you define that condition table, we can assign that condition table with another sequence. Like for example, it can be 20 and you can enter the table number. Now, this combination of multiple tables in a sequence is defining something called as an access sequence. As the name says, we are telling the system what is the sequence in which the system should access these different tables in order to fetch a condition record. Because once we are creating an access or once we are creating a condition table, obviously in VK13, I am going to enter different condition records for each and every table. As I have mentioned 30% for this table, the same way I'm also going to mention some 20%, 25%, 10%. So multiple items or multiple line items for another table that I'm going to create with material account assignment group and customer account assignment group. So how does the system should identify which value or which condition record the system should pick if there are more than one condition records available, be it from a same table or be it from a different table. So in that case, access sequence comes into place. Access sequence tell the system what is the sequence first to identify which table should be picked up, and based on this, the system will go in this top to bottom sequential order. The system will first find what all condition records are maintained with the combination of fields maintained in this table, whether these four combinations maintained in VK30. And if nothing is found, then if there is another entry here, then the system will go to that table and find out if there are any condition records that are maintained with the combination of fields present in that table. So this is how the system is going to define the sequence in which the system should pick values from the condition records for a same condition type. So that is the purpose of an access sequence. So access sequence tells the system the sequence in which condition records are to be fetched for a condition type. What we saw till now is from a bottom to top order. So when we are doing the actual configurations, first we need to define a access sequence, and then we need to define a condition type, and then we need to define a condition record. These condition types are assigned in the pricing procedure. So let us also have one look at a pricing procedure. Sales pricing schema can be viewed in the transaction code B/08. Here, let us go to our pricing schema, which is TIMUP1. So if you see here, these are the different condition types which are assigned to our pricing schema or pricing procedure. And this is the sequence in which the system is going to assign values to this each and every condition type. So we can also define what is the value, the formula that we have mentioned. Gross amount is something that we did not enter, or net amount is something that we did not enter manually in our billing document, but the system had summed up the values from the step number 100 till 299. 100 is nothing but the gross amount, which is again a sum of values from 10 to 60. That means price values PR00 and PPR0 and PMP0. The total sum of this is the gross amount. And from the gross amount, whatever the values is calculated as gross amount 1 and fixed amount 1, all that is now added up to the net amount 100 to 299. Here we can also define whether a condition type is statistical, like how we saw the commission is a statistical condition. So all that is defined here. And obviously, which is out of the scope of this video, we can also assign account keys, which is used to derive the GL accounts for each and every condition. So this is about condition types, condition records, and access sequences in SAP. I hope you have found this video useful. It had helped you to clear the concepts so that you can do the configuration now. And do not forget to like the video, share it, and subscribe to the channel for more such content. See you in the next one. Until then, take care.